Hi, I'm Frank Duran with Real Books Don't Have Batman podcast, and I'm sitting across from Yale Stewart, the artist of JL8. Starting off, how did you start JL8? What happened that led to its creation?
Boredom.
Yeah.
I was basically working one summer in, I guess it would have been 2011, and the idea kind of just came to me, and it seemed like a good one. So I decided to go home and draw the first strip. I showed it to some friends of mine on Facebook or maybe even like through a picture text message, and got a pretty positive response. And I had a couple other ideas, and banged those out. And then eventually somebody talked me into, I guess my buddy Trad talked me into posting it on Tumblr, and the rest is history, I guess.
JL8, it started off with just Batman and Superman starting off. How did you decide to assemble the team with like Power Girl and Martian Manhunter? Is it influenced by anything, or was it just kind of like those were the obvious choices for your main characters?
Well, I had the cast set before I even started the strip. Martian Manhunter has always been a part of the Justice League. Really, the only reason I brought in Power Girl is to have an extra female character, because the original Justice League is just a bunch of dudes and Wonder Woman. And I thought that would be kind of, honestly, just boring.
Yeah.
Especially because the stories aren't just like beating up bad guys. They're more character driven, so just a bunch of guys sitting around. Like, most groups of friends don't even have that many. I mean, 6 is kind of pushing it.
Yeah.
But, usually my groups of friends are more like the 4 to 5 friend range. And even then, some of the personalities might be a little redundant. So I thought it'd be better to swap out Aquaman.
Yeah.
And have a female in there.
Well, then I gotta ask the question: is Aquaman going to be brought in at any point?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. Or is he going to be Aqualad?
Well, no, he's just gonna be Arthur,
yeah.
Since none of them actually go by any kind of superhero name.
So we had the question yesterday because we bought the We Will Be Giants print. Have you ever drawn your JL8 characters as adults?
I have, actually. I did it once on jury duty because I was bored. But yeah, I don't...
What's different about them? Like, was it weird to transition your small characters to being normal? Air quotation.
Yeah, it kind of was, because like they don't really look like young versions of the way I would traditionally draw Batman and Superman. So I kind of had to think of like, what would these character designs look like 20 years from now?
Yeah.
And it was kind of interesting to realize how different they look from like the Bruce Timm designs, which is essentially how I would normally draw either of those characters.
That's super cool.
So yeah.
It's very cool. Do you consider yourself a writer or an artist, or a writer-artist?
Yeah, I guess I would consider myself more like a cartoonist. The only reason I say that is because that seems to be the term that most people use for people that do both. Like, people generally refer to like Jeff Smith as a cartoonist, Craig Thompson as a cartoonist, Darwin Cook as a cartoonist. So yeah, I look at myself as both. I mean, I would probably lean more towards artist than writer, because I still think that's my strength. But at the same time, I've kind of made my peace with the fact that like people seem to like really like how I write.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of learning to accept the fact that like maybe I'm a bit better of a writer than I think I am.
That's so
But
cool.
at the same time, you never want to make any kind of assumptions.
So then I gotta ask the question: how long do you think you're gonna be doing JL8 for?
I really don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that when I start to like, if I start to feel like I'm slipping, I'll stop.
Okay.
If I'm asked to stop, I'll stop. And I mean, I guess I have to be realistic. Like, if better, more professional opportunities arise, as much as I like doing JL8, I'm not getting paid to do JLA. So, you know, if like Cartoon Network hits me up and is like, hey, we'd like you to develop a show.
Oh man,
I would.
love that.
Oh yeah, I mean that's clearly wishful thinking, but you know, it's like that's one of those things that like I'll just have to be like, hey, I'm sorry, but you know, I'm trying to make I'm still just like a up and coming, aspiring career professional.
Yeah.
So if the opportunity arises that will turn me into a career professional, then
I wish they would cancel Teen Titans Go for your JLA. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I'm not gonna. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. Like, I would be more than happy to continue to do. Like, yeah, if Warner Brothers was like, hey, we want you to do a JLA cartoon. Yeah, I'd absolutely be happy to do something like that.
Is there questions or anything like that?
Do you have a character to write or draw or both? One you enjoy the most, if any?
You have a long ride? It's like 2 hours.
That's a really good question. I will say I really do have a soft spot for Karen.
Yeah.
Not to draw. She's really hard to draw. But she is fun to just kind of like brainstorm about. Because she's the one that I'm probably like the least familiar with.
Yeah.
And as such, I feel like I have the most room to kind of put my own little stamp on her. Actually, Diana's really fun to draw. I really like drawing that big fat curl that like hangs in front of her face. That I'm happy with her design. I'm also really happy that other people are really happy with her design. Because most people appreciate the fact that I tried to make her look Greek,
Yeah.
which was really important to me. So yeah, I guess I'm. Oh, this is great. I'm most fond of 2 8-year-old girls. But no, Karen and Diana, I really do like writing them and drawing them quite a bit.
That's cool.
I mean, they're just super cute too. It's hard not to like drawing like their little boots because you're just like, oh, look at her little boots.
Look at them little boots.
Yeah.
Now, I gotta ask, because I know it's not a kid's comic, but it definitely lends itself to, do you write it for kids, or is there a certain audience you're writing it for, or is it just for you? What do you write it for?
Honestly, I guess it is kind of just for me, to be totally true about it. I mean, when I started, I knew that I wanted it to at least be accessible to everybody. But at the same time, yeah, it's like, it's kind of like a Field of Dreams situation. You know, like if you build it, they will come. Like, just do what you want to do, and either, like, people can smell fakeness, you know, and they can tell like when you're just kind of like phoning it in or trying to like play to
certain audience.
Yeah. So I was like, let me just make the strip that I want to make. Because, I mean, I'm an independent webcomic guy. Like, why the heck would I not use the opportunity? So, yeah, really it's for me. But I'm thrilled to know how many people, you know, like it and are comfortable sharing it with, like, their kids and people that they know who don't really like comics.
Well, thank you so much for the interview. It's
my pleasure, man.
Is there anything you'd like to plug before we're out?
I guess just, you know, for those who might be attending New York Comic Con, I'll be re-debuting my creator-owned comic, Gifted, at that show in a print copy with a pretty sweet pinup gallery from some pretty talented guys. So, and it'll probably be like a $5 comic for like 32 pages or something like that. So keep an eye out for that.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, man. It's good talking to you.
Good talking to you.
All right.